I know exactly what I threw away. I'm not confused about it. I made the choices, eyes open, knew better, chose different anyway. And God gave it back, not all of it. Some of it is just gone, but enough. He gave back enough to build something real with. And I don't take that lightly, not for a single day. Ay, I burned through years I can't get back, I know the number. Know the names of what I lost, the choices I made in the dark. Know the relationships I walked out on, the gifts I left unused. The version of my life that ran parallel to the one I chose. And grief for the wasted years is real, don't let anybody rush that. You allowed them on the time before you receive the restoration. Both things are true, the gratitude and the grief, they live in the same chest. And that's not contradiction, that's testimony. But here's what I didn't know when I was wasting it, that God was watching the whole time without withdrawing the calling. That the gifts he placed don't get recalled when you go prodigal. That the father doesn't cancel the inheritance when the son leaves for the far country. He just waits, and when you turn around he runs. Second chance, man, that's what I am. I don't say it lightly, I say it knowing what it costs. Second chance, man, the first one I wasted and he gave me back the clay I threw on the floor. Joe said he restored the years that the locusts ate. I watched him do it, not metaphorically, specifically, year by year, piece by piece. I write this chapter different. Every single day I write this chapter different. The enemy wants me to live in the shame of the wasted season, wants the guilt to be the loudest voice in the rebuild chapter. But guilt after repentance is not the Holy Spirit, it's the accuser. Using the thing God already forgave as a weapon, God already disarmed. I had to learn to receive the restoration without the asterisk, without, yeah, God restored it, but you remember what you did without the constant caveat on the grace. Grace doesn't come with an asterisk, it comes with a ring and a robe and a fatted calf. And the Father saying, bring the best thing for my son who was dead and is alive again. Peter denied him 3 times, 3. And Jesus didn't give him a reduced assignment. Jesus said, feed my sheep, full assignment, full restoration. The denial didn't disqualify the calling, it became part of the testimony that made Peter the right man for the assignment. The failure wasn't removed from the story, it was redeemed inside the story. That's what God does with the wasted years. He doesn't erase them, he redeems them. Second chance, man, that's what I am. I don't say it lightly, I say it knowing what it costs. Second chance, man, the first one I wasted and he gave me back the clay I threw on the floor. Joe said he restored the years that the locusts ate. I watched him do it, not metaphorically, specifically, year by year, piece by piece. Second chance, man, I write this chapter different. Every single day I write this chapter different. I don't waste Tuesdays anymore. That might sound small, but when you know what a wasted year feels like, you stop taking Tuesdays for granted. This chapter's different, I'm making sure of it. I had a timeline, career by 25, family by 30, legacy by 40. God looked at my timeline and made no comment, just kept working on a schedule I didn't have access to. And I had to decide, is he late? Or am I early to my own frustration? I watch my peers hit milestones I'm still approaching. Watch the announcements stack up in the feed while I'm still in the process. They started doing wonder if I misread the assignment or if the anointing skipped a step when it landed on me. Compare my chapter 3 to somebody else's chapter 10 and call myself behind when I was just on a different book. The enemy loves the timeline, loves to hold it next to your age and whisper, see. But Abraham got the promise at 75. Moses started the assignment at 80, and neither one of them was late. They were both exactly where the story needed them. At the exact moment, the story needed them there. Late bloomer, that's not an insult, that's a category. Something need longer in the ground before they surface. Late bloomer, God didn't forget the seed he planted. He just not finished with the root work underground. Don't dig it up, check on it, trust the gardener. He know the season, he knows the soil, he knows your name. Late bloomer, you're right on time. this time, this is the only time that matters. I've been trying to rush the harvest on a crop that needs the wind. Trying to force the door that's not ready for the weight of what's behind us. I'm promising need the person to be built before the promise can be carried without it breaking them. And God is more concerned with what I become in the waiting than He is with the speed of the arrival. The waiting isn't wasted, it's structural. It's the foundation being poured before the walls go up. You don't see it from the outside, but it's happening underneath everything. Sarah laughed at the timeline, and she held a miracle. The laughter and the promise lived in the same body. Both were real. God didn't correct the laugh, He kept the promise anyway. Which means He's not offended by your doubt about the schedule. He just committed to the completion, regardless of whether you believe in the timing yet. Late bloomer, that's not an insult, that's a category. Some things need longer in the ground before they surface. Late bloomer, God didn't forget the seed He planted. He's just not finished with the root work. Underground, don't dig it up, check on it. Trust the gardener, He know the season, He know the soil, He knows your name. Late bloomer, you're right on time, on His time, which is the only time that matters. Stop apologizing for the pace. The gardener knows what he planted. He hasn't forgotten. He's not finished. There's a difference between late and not yet. You're not late. You're not late. I'm not easy. I know that about myself. The walls are real, the pride is real. The way I shut down when I feel cornered, that's real. The way I push people away when they get close enough to actually matter, that's a pattern I recognize. And I've watched people leave because the math didn't work out in their favor. But God keeps showing up, and I genuinely don't understand why. I built the walls before I knew they were walls. Thought I was being selective, turns out I was being defended. Thought the distance was wisdom, turns out it was fear. Wearing the costume of self-sufficiency. I came into relationships with an exit already mapped, like a man who books a hotel in the city he lives in. Just in case the house becomes unsafe, just in case the love requires too much exposure. I know how I sound in an argument, I've heard the playback. I know the tone that shuts conversations down. Know the specific silence I deploy when I don't wanna be reached. I'm not oblivious to the difficulty, I'm the one who lives inside it. And it's exhausting, being this guarded. And the exhaustion should've been the clue that the walls were never actually protecting me. Hard to love, I know the evidence. I watch good people wear themselves out on the outside of me. Hard to love, and somehow you keep coming back without the record of wrongs I deserve to have read back to me. This is the love that passes understanding. I finally get that phrase. Not love that barely makes sense, love that logic can't contain. Hard to love, and you love me anyway. Not when I get better, now as is. Hard to love and you stay. Romans 5 said He demonstrated love while we were still sinners. Not after the improvement, during the resistance. Not when we got our act together in the middle of the mess. Which means the love didn't wait for the walls to come down. It showed up at the wall and said, I'll wait. And the waiting wasn't passive, it was active, persistent, consistent. Refusing to be driven off by the defenses I invented to drive people off. That kind of love has no analog in human experience. I have nothing to compare it to. Every human love I've received had conditions, even the good ones, even the love from people who tried, it had limits. God's love is the only thing I've encountered that looked at the full file, every defense, every wall, every pattern, and says, still, I choose this one. Still, He knows the walls better than the people they kept out. He built the person the walls are wrapped around. He's not surprised by the difficulty, He authored the complexity. He's redeeming and He calls it worth it. I don't have a category for that yet, but I'm learning to receive it instead of arguing with it. Hard to love, I know know the evidence. I watch good people wear themselves out on the outside of me. But somehow you keep coming back. Without the record of wrongs I deserve to have read back to me. This is the love that passes understanding. I finally get that phrase. Not love that barely makes sense. Love that logic can't contain. Hard to love, and you love me anyway. Now when I get better, now as is. Hard to love and you stay. I don't fully understand it, but I'm done arguing against it. He knows the file, he's seen the whole thing, and he's still here. That's not logic, that's grace, and I'll take it. I don't know how to stop, that's the honest answer. I keep my schedule full so the silence doesn't catch me, because when I stop moving, I have to sit with myself, and sitting with myself means sitting with God. And God asks questions I've been out running for a very long time. I wake up with a list before I talk to God, that's a confession. I measure the day by the output, not the communion, that's a problem. I built my worth on the doing and forgot about the being. And the being is actually what he was after the whole time. The hustle became the hiding place, productive avoidance, busy enough to feel righteous, moving fast enough to feel safe. But safety built on momentum isn't peace, it's just anxiety with a full calendar. I burned out twice before I named what I was running from. The work wasn't the issue, the work was the cover. Underneath the cover was a man who didn't know what he was worth when he wasn't producing. Running from rest, using the grind as the armor. If I stay busy enough, the questions can't find me. Running from rest, the hustle became my hiding place, and I'm tired, but I don't know how to lay it down. Be still, he said it like it was simple. Be still and know, as if the knowing comes after the stopping. Lord, teach me how to stop. Be still and know that I am God. That's the command and the promise. The knowing doesn't come in emotion, it comes in the stillness. But I've been skipping the stillness and wondering why I don't know. Why the intimacy feels thin and the instructions feel unclear. Why I'm doing all the right things but running on empty. Because you can't fill up while you're always pouring out. And I've been pouring out in every assignment, every responsibility, every person who needs something without ever sitting down long enough to be refilled. Jesus withdrew, that's in the text. In the middle of the miracles and the crowds and the needy withdrew to lonely places and prayed. If the Son of God built rest into the ministry, then busyness isn't a virtue I should be performing. Elijah ran until he collapsed under a juniper tree. God didn't give him a to-do list. God gave him food and said, the journey is too great for you. Get up and eat. Rest was the assignment. Before the next mountain, before the still small voice, before anything else, rest first. The journey is too great to keep running on empty. Running from rest, using the grind as the armor. If I stay busy enough, the questions can't find me. Running from rest, the hustle became a hiding place, and I'm tired, but I don't know how to lay it down. Be still, he said it like it was simple. Be still and know, as if the knowing comes after the stopping. Running from rest, Lord, teach me how to stop. The questions that scare you in the stillness are the ones God wants to answer. That's why he said be still first, not to punish you with the silence, to give you access to the knowing. Stop running, he's been waiting in the quiet. I waited for it longer than I should have. Kept the case open, kept the evidence organized. Figured if I made it plain enough, they'd have no choice but to acknowledge it. They never did. And I had to make a decision about what I was gonna do with the debt that was never repaid. Yeah. I rehearsed the conversation 100 different ways. Built the version where they finally see it, finally say it, finally sit with the weight of what they did. And in every version I built, they came correct. But that conversation only existed in my head. In real life, they moved on like the damage didn't happen. Like I was supposed to absorb it and keep the relationship steady. Like the wrong one carries the burden of the relationship survival. And I was angry, I have to name that honestly. Angry that the math was that uneven, that I had to do the healing work for a wound they gave me and never claimed. That's not fair, and the fairness matters. You're allowed to name what's unfair before you decide what to do with it. The apology I never got, I kept the seat for it, kept the table set for someone who wasn't coming to dinner. The apology I never got, it was keeping me in a cell that they built and I maintained by waiting. Forgiveness isn't saying what you did was fine. Forgiveness is releasing the debt, not because it wasn't real, but because carrying it cost me more than letting it go. The apology I never got doesn't have to hold me anymore. Forgiveness without an apology is the hardest discipline in the kingdom, because everything in us wants acknowledgement before release, wants the ledger balance before we close the account. But waiting for acknowledgement hands them the keys to my healing. Means my freedom is contingent on their willingness to show up. And some people are never gonna show up. Some people don't have the self-awareness. Some people have too much pride. Some people are gone, and I cannot wait for the dead to apologize to the living. Jesus forgave from the cross, they hadn't asked, hadn't stopped mocking, hadn't changed their minds. He didn't wait for the acknowledgement before he released the debt. Father, forgive them, not after they repented while they were still doing it. Which means forgiveness is not a response to their remorse. It's just a decision I make about my own freedom. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. I had to learn that. I can release the debt without rebuilding the access. I can forgive the person without restoring the proximity. The forgiveness is for me. The boundary is also for me. Both things are grace, both things are wisdom. I don't have to choose between forgiving them and protecting myself from over the same. The apology I never got, I kept the seat for it, kept the table set for someone who wasn't coming to dinner. The apology I never got, it was keeping me in a cell that they built and I maintained by waiting. Forgiveness isn't saying what you did was fine. Forgiveness is releasing the debt, not because it wasn't real, but because carrying it cost me more than letting it go. The apology I never got doesn't have to hold me anymore. I closed the case, not because justice didn't matter, because keeping it open was costing me today for a debt from yesterday. I released it. That's not weakness. That's the hardest thing I've ever done. And I'm free.